Welcome to Voice of English. If you've ever felt too shy to speak English, or stayed silent even when you knew the answer, this video is for you. Today's story is called Our Journey from Silence to Confidence, a true and emotional journey of how simple friendship, small daily steps, and support can change everything. By watching this video, you'll learn that you're not alone. And yes, you can overcome your fear. So sit back, listen carefully, and imagine yourself in this journey. Maybe, just maybe, it's time for your voice to shine. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Silence in the Classroom. My name is Hina, and for a long time, silence was my only voice. In school, during every English class, I would sit quietly, hoping the teacher would not call my name. My heart would beat fast if I heard, "Hina, can you read this paragraph?" Even simple questions like, "What is your hobby?" made my face turn red. I knew the answer. I understood the question. But when I tried to speak, the words got stuck inside me. My hands became cold, my voice disappeared, and all I could do was shake my head and whisper, "I don't know." But I did know. I was just afraid. Afraid of saying the wrong thing. Afraid of sounding stupid. Afraid that my classmates would laugh. So I stayed silent. For years. At home, I watched English dramas and listened to English songs. I even sang them alone in my room. But when it came to speaking, I had no courage, no confidence. My family didn't speak English. My school was not very supportive. English was just a subject I had to pass, not a language I could live with. But deep inside, I had a small dream, just a small one. I wanted to speak English with confidence. I wanted to travel one day, maybe study abroad. I wanted to watch movies without subtitles. I wanted to make international friends. But every time I thought about trying, I remembered my failures. My old self said, "You can't. You are not good enough." And so, silence became my habit. Then, something unexpected happened in college. On the first day of my new English class, we were told to form small groups for a project. I looked around nervously. Everyone seemed busy finding friends. I stood in the corner, pretending to fix my bag. Just then, a girl walked up to me. She had short hair and a friendly smile. "Hey," she said, "you want to join our group?" Her name was Zara. That small question changed everything. I joined Zara's group. We had to prepare a short presentation in English. My old fear returned. I told Zara, "I can help write it, but I can't speak in front of the class." She looked at me kindly and said, "It's okay. We'll practice together. I used to be scared too." I was surprised. Zara spoke so clearly. I never imagined she once felt the same. She told me how she used to practice speaking with her best friend every evening. "We made a rule," she said. "No Urdu for 10 minutes a day." I laughed. "Only 10 minutes?" She smiled. "Yes, that's how we started. Then it became 20, then 30. And one day we realized we were thinking in English." Her words gave me hope. For the first time, I didn't feel stupid. I felt understood. That night, I stood in front of the mirror and said aloud, "My name is Hina. I want to learn English. I will try. My voice was soft, but it was there. I felt something strange, like I had opened a small window in my heart. The next day, I asked Zara if we could practice together. She said yes. Every day after class, we met in the library garden. We chose simple topics: my favorite food, my weekend, my family. I spoke slowly, searching for words. Sometimes I stopped mid-sentence, but Zara waited patiently. She never laughed. She helped me finish my sentences. "You're doing great," she would say, even when I made mistakes. Those small practice sessions changed everything. I started using new words. I became braver. I even began helping another shy girl in our class named Sana. She had the same fear I had. I told her, "Come join us. We are all learning together." And just like that, we became a team of three. Three quiet girls who were tired of being afraid. We didn't need a big classroom. We didn't need perfect grammar. We just needed each other. And slowly, our journey from silence to confidence had begun. Chapter 2. The Promise to Keep Going. Every afternoon after class, the three of us, Zara, Sana, and I, would meet under the big tree near the college library. It was a quiet place, away from the noise. It became our safe corner, our English space. We brought our notebooks, some snacks, and a lot of hope. We made a simple rule: no Urdu for 15 minutes. At first it was difficult. Sana hardly spoke. I kept forgetting words. Zara spoke slowly, helping both of us. Sometimes we laughed so hard when one of us made a funny mistake, like when Sana said, "I eat my homework," instead of, "I forgot my homework." But no one laughed in a mean way. We were learning together. Our mistakes didn't feel like failures. They felt like steps. One day, Zara brought an idea. "Let's try shadowing," she said. I didn't know what that meant. She explained, "We listen to short English videos, then we copy them. Same voice, same speed." It sounded strange but fun. She played a clip from a short English story on her phone. The speaker said, "Hi, my name is Ben. I live in a small town." We paused. Then all three of us repeated it together. "Hi, my name is Ben. I live in a small town." We laughed because Sana said bean instead of Ben. But we tried again and again. Slowly, we got better. Shadowing helped us speak with rhythm. It helped us listen more closely. I began to enjoy the sound of English, not as something difficult, but as something real, something that could belong to me. That week, we made a new promise. We each wrote it down in our notebooks. "I will speak in English for 15 minutes every day, no matter what." I stuck that promise on my wall at home. It wasn't easy to follow at first. Sometimes I forgot. Sometimes I was tired. Sometimes I felt like I wasn't improving. But then I would remember, I'm not doing this alone. My friends are also trying. I would hear Zara's voice in my head saying, "Even one sentence is better than none." So I kept going. One evening I sat with my younger brother. He asked me, "Appa, why are you talking to yourself in English?" I smiled and said, "I'm practicing." He laughed and said, You sound like a teacher. That made me feel good inside. For the first time, someone called me a teacher. I wasn't perfect. I still made mistakes. But something inside me was changing. My voice was growing stronger. One Friday, our English teacher announced a class activity. Next week, each group will give a short talk about a topic they choose. My heart started beating fast. I looked at Zara and Sana. They looked at me. For a second, we were all scared. But then Zara smiled and whispered, "We can do this." Sana nodded, even though she looked nervous. I took a deep breath and said, "Let's try. We promised to keep going, remember?" We chose a simple topic: how to start learning English. It was something we knew deeply. We divided the parts. I would begin, Zara would explain shadowing, and Sana would end the talk with our group's daily practice idea. We wrote everything together. Then we practiced every day, outside, in the garden, and even through voice notes at night. I was still afraid, but I knew one thing now. I wasn't alone. We were walking this path together, step by step, word by word, mistake by mistake. And that gave me courage. Our journey was no longer just mine. It was ours. Chapter 3. The day we spoke in front of everyone. The day of the class presentation finally came. My hands were shaking, even though we had practiced every single day. I looked at the paper in front of me, but the words felt blurry. Sana kept fixing her scarf nervously. Zara, always the bravest, whispered, "We've got this. We've practiced. We are ready." I nodded, but inside I wasn't so sure. I remembered the old version of me, the girl who couldn't even say her name in English without fear. And now, here I was, about to stand in front of 20 classmates and a teacher and speak in English. It felt impossible, but also exciting. When our group was called, my heart jumped. We stood up and walked to the front of the classroom. I held my paper tightly, but I also held something else inside me. A small kind of strength that had grown over the past few weeks. I looked at Zara and Sana. We smiled at each other. We had come too far to turn back now. I started first. My voice was quiet at the beginning. "Good morning. Our topic is how to start learning English." I heard my own voice, and to my surprise, it didn't sound bad. It sounded real. I continued, "We are not experts, but we want to share how we began." Then Zara took over. She spoke about shadowing, how it helped her pronounce better and speak more naturally. She even showed a small example, repeating a sentence from our favorite English video. The class smiled. Then it was Sana's turn. Her hands were shaking. She looked at her paper, then at us. She took a deep breath and said, "Every day we speak English for 15 minutes. Just us three, in the garden." Her voice was soft, but clear. When she finished, the class clapped. I looked around. Some students were smiling. One girl whispered, "That was so nice." Our English teacher stood up and said, "Wonderful work, girls. You showed courage and you shared a real story. I'm proud of you." I could not believe it. I wanted to cry, but not from fear, this time from happiness. We did it. We stood in front of everyone and spoke. We made mistakes, yes. Our grammar wasn't perfect, but we spoke with heart, and that mattered more. After the class, a few students came to us. One boy said, "Can I join your group?" A shy girl from the back row asked, "Can you help me speak like that too?" I looked at Zara and Sana. We were all thinking the same thing. Maybe we could help more people. Maybe we could grow our little English corner. That evening, we sat under the same tree and talked for hours. We laughed about our mistakes. We smiled about the claps. We made a new promise. Let's help others too. If we can do it, they can too. Something had changed forever that day. We were no longer the quiet girls at the back. We had found our voice. And now, we wanted to help others find theirs too. Chapter 4. Our Little Speaking Club. After the class presentation, everything started to change. More students began talking to us, especially the quiet ones. One girl named Alina came to us after class. She was holding her notebook close to her chest, and her voice was barely a whisper. "I want to learn too," she said, "but I'm scared." I looked at her and smiled, because I knew exactly how she felt. "Don't worry," I said. "We were scared too. You can join us." That weekend, under the same tree in the garden, there were 5 of us. Then the next week, there were 8, then 12. We didn't plan to start a club, but it was growing like one. We called it the Confidence Corner. It wasn't just about English anymore, it was about learning to believe in ourselves. Every week, we tried something new. Some days we did shadowing together. We listened to 1-minute videos and repeated them out loud. Some days we played speaking games, describing pictures, acting out small stories, or asking each other random questions like, "If you had a superpower, what would it be?" We laughed a lot. We made mistakes every 5 minutes, but no one judged anyone. That was the rule. No judgment, only encouragement. Zara made small vocabulary cards and we passed them around. Sana kept a notebook where she wrote down our favorite new sentences from each meeting. I started writing short motivational messages for the group. Things like, "Your voice is your power," or "One word today, one sentence tomorrow." I didn't know the others were reading them closely until one day, Alina showed me her notebook. On the first page, she had written my quote in big letters. "I don't have to be perfect. I just have to try." My eyes filled with tears. Even the boys who were too cool to talk in English started joining us quietly. Some sat on the side at first, listening. Then one of them said a full sentence in English. We all clapped for him. I remember thinking, this is what I wished for when I had no one to practice with. One day, our English teacher heard about our group and visited. She sat with us, smiled, and said, "You girls have started something very special. This is more powerful than any classroom." And she was right. Confidence Corner was not just a group. It was a safe space where people like us, who were once scared of English, could grow step by step. What amazed me the most was that the change in us didn't stop at English. Zara started raising her hand in class more often. Sana volunteered to lead a school event. I helped a classmate write a speech in English. Alina who once couldn't say her name out loud, read a full paragraph during assembly. The quiet ones were becoming leaders. We were all growing, not because we were perfect, but because we were trying, together. Chapter 5. Setbacks and Small Victories. Just when everything was going well, life reminded us that every journey has some bumps. One Saturday, when we were all excited for our Confidence Corner meeting, it suddenly started raining. Heavy rain. We had no umbrella, no shelter. The garden turned muddy, and we had to cancel. Everyone went home, cold and a little disappointed. For the next 2 weeks, the weather stayed bad. Our usual meeting spot was wet, and many members were busy with exams. Our group became smaller again. First 8 came, then 6, then only 4. I started to feel the fear again, that maybe this would all end. At home, I lost motivation. I didn't practice my shadowing. I stopped writing my English diary. Even my daily 15-minute speaking practice felt boring. One evening, I looked at my mirror and asked myself, am I going back to silence? That question made me feel sad. I didn't want to be the girl who gave up. Then one night, I got a message from Zara. It was short, but powerful. Setbacks are part of the journey. We don't stop. We adjust. That line woke me up. She was right. Maybe we couldn't meet in the garden, but that didn't mean we couldn't continue. The next day, I made a small WhatsApp group and named it Confidence Corner Online. I invited Zara, Sana, and the others. I posted, "Let's meet here till the sun comes back." At first, I wasn't sure if anyone would respond, but one by one they did. Sana sent a voice note reading a paragraph from her English book. Zara sent a 1-minute video of her shadowing practice. Alina wrote a short story in English and asked us for feedback. My heart felt warm again. Our group was alive, just in a different form. We made new weekly challenges. Record 1 English sentence daily. Describe your morning in 5 English lines. Shadow 1 dialogue from a movie. Some days we forgot. Some days we were tired. But we always came back. We reminded each other why we started. And the small victories kept coming. One day, my English teacher asked me to help check an assignment for the junior class. She said, "You explain things so clearly. The students listen to you." I smiled and said thank you, but inside, I felt like crying. 2 years ago, I couldn't speak 1 full sentence, and now someone trusted me to guide others. Zara got selected to host part of a college event in English. Sana helped her cousin prepare for a job interview. Alina joined an online conversation club with people from other countries. These weren't big things for the world, but for us, they were everything. They were signs that we were climbing, step by step, even after slipping. We learned something important in those weeks. Progress is not a straight line. Some days you shine, some days you struggle, but if you keep showing up, you grow. Confidence doesn't mean you never fall, it means you always rise again. Chapter 6. A New Voice, a New Me. Months passed. The seasons changed. The rain stopped, and the garden became green again. One Saturday, we returned to our favorite place under the big tree. The sun was soft, the wind was gentle, and the smiles on our faces were brighter than ever. It felt like coming home. That day, there were almost 20 people in our group. Old friends, new members, even one girl who had joined from another college. Someone had brought cookies. Another person brought a portable speaker and played soft music while we practiced. We sat in a big circle, each person taking turns speaking. Some shared their English stories, others shared their dreams. I looked around and saw something beautiful. A group of people who once stayed silent, now full of life and language. When it was my turn to speak, I stood up slowly. I didn't hold a paper. I didn't feel scared. I looked at everyone and began, "Hi, my name is Hina, and I used to be afraid of English. For years, I stayed quiet, but now I'm not afraid anymore. English is not just a subject to me. It's a door that opened because of friendship, patience, and small daily practice." My voice was clear. My hands didn't shake. I saw Zara and Sana smiling at me like proud sisters. Alina had tears in her eyes. Everyone clapped, but I was already clapping in my heart for the girl I used to be and the girl I had become. After the meeting, someone came to me, a younger girl who had just joined. She said, "Can I sit next to you next time?" I'm a little shy. I smiled and said, "Of course. I used to sit in the corner, too." That's when I realized something important. When you find your voice, you help others find theirs, too. My journey from silence to confidence wasn't perfect. There were hard days, there were moments of doubt, but I never walked alone. I had friends. I had support. I had small steps that turned into big changes. If you are reading this now and you feel afraid to speak English, please listen carefully. I was like you. I still make mistakes, but I don't stop. And you don't have to stop either. Thanks for watching. If this story felt close to your heart, it's because you're not alone. We've all felt afraid to speak, but remember, your voice matters. Mistakes are okay. What matters is that you try. Subscribe to Voice of English for more real stories, tips, and friendly support every day. Let's grow together, one word at a time. See you soon. Keep speaking. Keep shining.